community. And Jay-Z is headed back to the stage with a series of major shows. He's set to perform a 30th anniversary concert at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles on October 23rd, along with a Paris show on September 10th and a 3-night run at Yankee Stadium in July. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Then hear us on WBOK1230.com.
Late nights in New Orleans. Some voices entertain the city. Some voices changing. You already know who on the air tonight. Gerod. Gerard on the radio. Whole city vibing slow. Late night lights in New Orleans glow. Everybody listen close. Gerard on the radio. Truth in the speakers for sure. From the bayou streets to the corner store. Whole city locked in. French Quarter nights with the rain coming down. Whole city talk, but the truth stay underground. Funny how the silence break whenever he speak. Certain conversations never make the TV. Voice through the speakers got the whole city tuned. Higher ups nervous every time he hit the room. Cause he say what the people been feeling for years. Bringing light to the stories they don't want us to hear. From the uptown lights to the night war pain. Every word hit different when it cut through the rain. Everybody know the truth, you never said aloud. Till Gerard hit the airwaves and it shook the whole town. And the streets keep calling through the static in the night. Every word feel different when Gerard go live. Gerard on the radio. Whole city vibing slow. Late night lights in New Orleans glow. Everybody listen close. Gerard on the radio. Truth in the speakers for sure. From the bayou streets to the corner store. Whole city locked in. Streetcars roll while the city stay awake. Everybody got a story, everybody got a way. Funny how the phones go quiet when he name names. Funny how the pressure rise when he shift the conversation. He talks schools, streets, money disappearing. Backdoor deals that the public ain't hearing. Things get buried when the cameras don't roll, but the people tune in cause Gerard let it unfold. From the jazz in the streets to the smoke in the sky. The wall is still fighting, still holding it high. And the city feels seen every time that he speak. Cause the truth hit harder when it finally run deep. Now the whole town riding with the station on loud. Hands high while they sing every word through the crowd. Can you feel the city breathing? Every late night conversation. Through the speakers, through the rain. Ooh, New Orleans, don't sound the same. Gerard on the radio. Whole city vibing slow. Late night lights in New Orleans glow. Everybody listen close. Gerard on the radio. Truth in the speakers for sure. From the bayou streets to the corner store. Whole city locked in. Yeah. You're now rocking with Gerard. The voice they couldn't silence.
Yeah, yeah.
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Stand up.
Stand up. And it's gonna go out. There it is. There it is.
I like the new song. I like it. I like
It's so
it.
much better than that other alternative song.
I like the song. I liked both songs, but I do like the new song as well, Gerard.
Ah, Lord. Him over there.
That other most corny
Just a
as hell.
straight hater.
Corny as hell.
Just straight hater.
This one right here is thumping.
You got to love.
As soon as I heard it yesterday, I said, "Oh, I took the other one out with the quickness and put
You
this
took it
one in."
out? Don't take it out.
Oh, I took it out. It's still in the system, but it's not
We're
going to be
gonna
playing on
rotate
here.
'em. Yeah, we're going to rotate them. Nah.
Him went bye-bye.
What's going on, good people? It's Hump Day.
Hump day.
We in the building, y'all. The elaborate, extraordinarily one.
Elaborate. Now
Yeah,
I'm
the
elaborate.
You're elaborate. I'm trying to think of some extraordinary
I'm
type
going to have
of.
to get you a thesaurus because
yeah,
elaborate is not it whatsoever.
What's the never? We're gonna get you saying that too. What's the never? Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we want to make sure that we say hello to the good people celebrating a birthday today. One of our yesterday she was celebrating her birthday. I think we said it before we went off the air. But Leslie celebrated her birthday yesterday. So happy birthday to Leslie and many others that celebrated yesterday their birthday too.
You would think that she would get mad with us when we mess with her.
When we do that,
but she laughs even more.
She can't do it. She can't get mad at us when we do it. You know why?
Because it's real.
Because it's real, and she gonna start laughing, and
she
everybody
does
gonna
it
be,
more
and
so.
she'll be exposed. What's happening with you?
Man, nothing but this heat.
Yeah, it's
inside and outside.
It is hot. It is hot. Got in the car today. My thermostat said 100 degrees. Now, usually I'm a little bit higher than what it really is, maybe like 2 or 3 degrees, but it's somewhere close to it. It is somewhere.
It's hot as
close
fish
to it.
grease out there.
And what's going on with you, elaborate, the attorney extraordinaire?
What is not going on with me? Let's see. I began my morning in Jefferson Parish Court on behalf of the Harvey State Office Building claimants who were exposed to asbestos and other hazardous contaminants while working in the state office building and were not warned of the dangers there. We are seeking class certification for them, and today was our very first status conference in front of the judge that will be presiding over the case. And we set a scheduling order that will govern the conduct of exceptions and discovery leading up to a class certification hearing. And then I came back to the office because while I was in Jefferson Parish, my office was filing the temporary restraining order on behalf of Gus Resident Management Council regarding the hostile Hano takeover. So we filed those pleadings in federal court, and we are awaiting what the judge will do in response to that filing. And so we'll see what happens with that. As you know, the Resident Management Corporation sought an immediate court intervention to preserve operations and protect the elderly and vulnerable residents over at Gus. We are asking the court to preserve the status quo and prohibit Hano from implementing takeover activities, conducting transition operations, which they want to begin on June 15th, interfering with GHRMC's management authority, communicating with residents in a manner designed to undermine GHRMC's operations. They just won't stop that. And displacing GHRMC before the court can fully adjudicate the legality of Hano's conduct. The TRO filing came after Hano advised Gus Management and Cynthia Wiggins that Hano personnel, and Larry Barabino in particular, would begin on-site transition activities, resident meetings, and operational assessments beginning on June 15th, 2026, when the termination was not supposed to be effective until July 1st.
Right.
So as people know, for approximately 26 years, GHRMC has managed Gus Developments pursuant to a federally authorized resident management agreement under the HUD resident management laws and regulations. And so the TRO mentions that Hano maintains centralized control over operating subsidies, reserve accounts, capital funding, procurement, and infrastructure approvals. Hano withheld substantial federally obligated operating funds that were intended for the operation of the developments. Hano possessed long-standing notice of major infrastructure deficiencies that affected the properties, and Hano escalated towards termination only after the Gus Management Group had demanded transparency, accountability, public records, accounting information, and HUD intervention. The filing further alleges that Hanno has interfered with leasing and occupancy operations, delayed vacancy postings and applicant processing, undermined the management company's operational authority, subjected the management company personnel to escalating audit demands and operational interference, and publicly announced takeover efforts before judicial review. So we've asked for emergency relief, and we have attached to this over 100 exhibits, basically, that are affidavits from engineers, housing inspectors, maintenance personnel, residents, community leaders, including Mark Morial, Arnie Filco, and others, and GHRMC management staff. So we did that today.
That's
And then we did a few other things today.
That's a whole lot.
Yeah, and then we came over here to do this show.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got a few things going on.
So let me ask, because one of the things too that I wanted to bring up today, and the reason why I'm gonna start from the end and work my way back to the beginning, was with these judges that are now fighting against one another. I felt, and I think you felt the same way, that we should let the folks hear what they have to say. So tomorrow, joining us in our conversation with the judges who are now in the spotlight without having to say they want to be in the spotlight, tomorrow, John Fuller's coming with us.
Correct.
So he's going to be on the air with us on Thursday. And on Friday, had a very interesting conversation this morning with Judge Leon Roche. Judge Roche is going to be with us on Friday.
I look forward to both of those conversations.
And I think that a lot of us have got to know and hear from them what is the 411 before we start listening to what the media is saying, quoting what the governor is saying, or what even now his opponents are saying, because it's announced as of today that Judge Rhonda Good is going to run against Leon Roche.
Which is who I would run against if I were in that position.
Mm-hmm.
I said that yesterday.
So they're going to be, I guess, opponents in campaigns to be elected by what, November? Is that November
Correct.
or December?
What I find interesting is that we are losing 3 excellent judges here in Orleans Parish when other judges are committing the kind of judicial misconduct that cuts directly into public confidence in the judiciary, because it combines several themes that the Louisiana Supreme Court and the Judicial Commission take very seriously. There are white judges in other parishes who have been accused of alleged intoxication in public, invocation of judicial authority during a personal dispute, business entanglements, threatening language, and behavior that reflects poorly on the office itself. I'm going to give you the example of Judge Stephen Turo, who appears to have already recognized the central problem in the case by conceding that his conduct could reasonably have been perceived as invoking the prestige of judicial office, and that admission matters. The most damaging allegation is probably not the physical altercation itself, because he had a fight in Swamp Chicken Daiquiris, a Gonzales bar, and he apparently was also, trying to intimidate the person he was fighting with by saying he was a sitting judge. The more serious issue is the allegation that he told a woman, Michelle Lee, he was going to shut her down while simultaneously being a sitting district judge, privately involved in discussions about ownership of the business, and allegedly intoxicated during the confrontation. The fact is, there was video footage, a 911 call, eyewitness testimony, and admissions by this judge that makes this case very difficult to contest. But yet, nobody's calling for his removal.
Nope. I would even go as far as, opening this up even as a conversation piece for this radio station, because I really do think that we're even letting this go by. And when I say go by, I'm talking about we mentioned it, but we really haven't dug into what happened with this fight with the sheriff
In St. Tammany.
in St. Tammany
And why
Parish.
isn't he being removed from
Why
office?
isn't he being removed? Why is he being shut down? And they're telling us that there's an investigation that is going on.
And Jay Morris, we found now that he has allegedly engaged in unethical conduct
Right.
using insider information. Why isn't there a move to remove him from office? To me, you're removing people from office who have done nothing wrong. They've not committed any misconduct whatsoever.
And
But-
that
but-
wrath is not coming back to the ones that are.
Exactly.
They don't have the same meaning. They're not the same oomph. You don't have the same structure as what you're putting on folks that may have said something that you didn't like, because we're hearing a lot of that went on or is going on, or didn't do something that you like. We're hearing a lot of that is going on. So if that's the case, then where is there, and you're supposed to be the person that's giving out equal justice, where is the justice in these removals and all of these charges that you may be putting on people? For what reason?
Where's the fairness? I just don't understand it. I mean, here you have people who are engaging in misconduct in office. No doubt about it. Getting into bar fights, getting into restaurant fights, using their power, abusing their power in that context, and you're not removing them. You're not trashing their reputations, but you are coming after people who have done nothing wrong in Orleans Parish.
Well, maybe somebody should ask that question
I'm asking it today.
to their face. And let's invite her to come to the show. See when she come. Liz Merrill, would you come?
Come on over, girl.
Come on over. Isn't that a song?
Come on over. Why don't you come on over? Because we would like to ask you, how are you picking and choosing selectively
And what's the
who
comparison?
should receive your misconduct allegations?
And what is the comparison?
Right.
Because these comparisons seem to be few and far between. What's an ever?
You are indicting Susan Hudson for quote unquote malfeasance. I didn't hear you indict the sheriff in St. Tammany.
I didn't hear you indict the sheriffs in Washington Parish when they had escapes. As a matter of fact, I have not heard anything else because they had 8 to get out. We haven't heard anything as far as malfeasance is concerned, because that seems to be what the climate is. You're actually telling us that the reasoning that you're putting these charges against Susan Hudson along with Bianca Brown is the fact that
They were
didn't
grossly
do any,
negligent.
grossly negligent, and didn't do anything to secure that jail. Well, I'm trying to figure out, where were they going to get the money? Were they going to pull it out their butts? Because if you're looking at the number of dollars that go to that jail, I could have sworn we saw during budget hearings that they kept going back and forth with Little Red Bottoms and Mr. Geruso, saying they did not have that money. And if you are looking at the money that they had, that money had to do with other issues. And then you wanted them to take another set of money, a pot of money, that belonged to the inmates that were being released. Okay. Where were they going to get that money from to replace it? And we're paying these men and women $18 and $19 an hour to guard some of the worst.
Absolutely. I wouldn't want the job. It's
No.
a very dangerous job.
And you see why it's a low self-esteem type of job in the first place, when these people are putting their lives on the line. They get hurt every day, every week.
So, G, what do you think about the people who are applauding our new sheriff, Michelle Woodfork, for stopping her own employee from bringing a gun into the jail?
She didn't stop him from bringing a gun in jail. He brought a gun into jail.
Her
It's
own
called-
employee.
Yeah.
So the gun got into the jail.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And everybody seems to be kissing up. Oh, she did a good job with, finding out what this was and gunning and stopping the problem and all this other stuff. They got caught with a gun, bringing it into the jail. You're not supposed to anyway. Somebody could have took that gun. They said, well, it was unloaded. Y'all remember when they had guns, ammunition, beer, and all the rest of the stuff in there? Those people seem to be, and I'm saying those people,
they seem to be able to get what they want.
They seem to be able to get whatever they want. They're very resourceful to say that they behind bars. What was that going to do? How to get a shank? They were going to hurt somebody. Even if they ain't have no bullets to shoot somebody, could knock somebody in the head. But I think the whole deal is a lot of those folks that's kissing ass right now want something from her in the first place, or trying to make her look good. What have we seen this month? We have seen at least 3 that have been released. It would seem to me that if you know that you have had a system that you blame the previous administration for the first time, you should have done something about it by now. It's been 3. And all I see on the news is, well, actually, I think they're doing a little bit better job with bringing it up because they want to know. They want to know who else got hurt in there, too. And I think they got hurt, and you tried to remove them before they
I think somebody got
putting...
stabbed, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Is the word on the street. The
That's
street
it. Street
is
committee
saying
has been
somebody got stabbed
Yep.
inside the jail in the last 30 days.
Right. And tried to
there was
remove them.
attempt to cover that up.
And it did. But somebody told. Somebody told. So now we know. Let's take the break here. We'll take the break and we'll come back, have a conversation with T-Bone in just a minute, y'all. More coming up right here on WBOK.
New Orleans, are you ready for a voice that says what you're thinking? Who that, you might ask? Arrington Gavin. That's right, I'm your guy, host of the Arrington Gavin Show, giving you so much filled with bold opinions, real conversations, and zero sugarcoating. We're going to be diving into the issues that matter, politics, pop culture, and all the above, unfiltered and unafraid. Catch the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., Monday through Fridays, right here on WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about.
Did you hear the news? Dr. Clark's 101 The Living Classroom has a new time. Catch us now every Wednesday at noon. Same program, same great conversations. Just a new time. So catch Dr. Clark's 101 The Living Classroom this Wednesday and every Wednesday only on WBOK. What New Orleans is talking about.
Greetings and salutations. I am Elwood B. Coulon Smith, chairman of the board of the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. We'd like to invite you to tune in every Wednesday at 12 noon on WBOK to listen in on Black to Business and be a part of the movement that's going on. Thank you.
This is Andronika Morris, host of Put Housing First. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock, where we will discuss how housing affects every aspect of our lives and what's necessary, what's needed to guarantee housing for all. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock as we dig down deep onto the issues that affect all of us.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. It's Wednesday afternoon. The extraordinary one is here. Yes, indeed. Attorney Suzette Bagnaris is on. And we got T-Bone on the phone. What's happening?
Good evening, y'all. How y'all doing? Thanks for letting me do it. So, look, I don't want to just be Captain Obvious. Pop says that people don't ask a question. So I'm going to end this with a question, but I'm going to begin with a statement. We know what this is. we know a shade of soul on the outside. These folks y'all talking about are. They're not the shade of soul that most New Orleans judges are. Now, back in the days, us hood critics used to have a theory about what was happening to the black community. The same theory that's been circulating about cocaine back in the days, that the federal government had sent cocaine to the black community, and it led to the degradation of what the Black Panther Party was trying to build back in the day.
So it's a crack.
Right, with crack. Now they're doing the same thing with black politicians. That's right, all of you politicians, including these judges, listen up. Every last one of y'all are black with your jobs in jeopardy. And what are they making you do? They're either firing you flat out or they're making you go up against each other. See, when dogs are hungry and you throw a steak on the floor of about 5 or 10 different dogs, what you think happens? They start fighting each other. That's what they want us to do. They want us to fight each other until there's one less. And then, because that dog is too vicious, what you think happened to that dog? If you need me to be graphic, I can be. All I'm going to tell you is Michael Vick. That's what they're trying to do. That's what they're doing with Fuller and these other judges that's running up against each other. That's what they already did with the clerk's race. Because they put this other woman in, even though we elected this brother, and they end up going at each other instantly. The city council going at it instantly. United we stand, divided we fall. That's what's happening here. I have a question for the counselor, since Pop Joe made this clear one day that some of us just make statements and don't ask questions. And Pop, I got much respect for you, bro. So don't take it the wrong way if you call in later on. So I'm going to respect how you feel, and I'm going to do what you say we should do. I'm going to ask a question. Counselor, just how quickly can this governor, by law, dismantle the localized government of New Orleans? Because right now, it looks like that's his main focus. He's doing it through Liz Morrow. And y'all could yell her out all you want on this program, but she is not coming on this program.
He's
This
doing it
radio
in more
station
than
got the
one
wrong
way.
letters on it.
He's doing it in more than one way. It's very carefully been implemented by him, to be quite honest. He's got
Absolutely.
the power of the legislature, where he is enacting into law statutes that are harmful to the political climate here in New Orleans, disrupting the status quo, getting rid of elected officers, downsizing offices to pit us against one another. But he's also got a very effective press campaign going on, where he's letting us know that it's our own black elected officials that have been inside dealing with them to put us in this position. So he is undermining our confidence in our black elected officials at the same time that he is removing many of them from office. It's a very effective campaign.
So,
And
T-Bone.
it's working because the black officials that he's pointing out, some of them are just screwing it up.
So let me answer your question without answering your question,
T
T-Bone. One of the things that I've been noticing, that I've been checking out, and I think this is really crucial, because it's not just the black officials, it's all officials that have some type of legislative power, including our city council. The question should be asked by all New Orleanians is, when are we going to file charges against him for violating our home rule charter? Because we have our own laws. This city has its own laws, and our home rule charter is what we're governed by. And we have been sitting back, letting them violate it over and over and over again. And I'm just wondering, when is somebody going to sit up and say, oh, yeah, they violating our home rule charter, let's go?
Well,
But
a
here's
home
the
rule
thing.
charter.
We've already been trying to litigate this stuff because the clerk, the guy that won the clerk thing, did he not try to get his recourse and they turned it down? Did he not try to keep his job? They gave it to him for like 24 hours. What? And then they turned him out and said, no, it's legal.
I
mean-
expected the 3 judges who have been disenfranchised of their seats, or the voters who elected them, to file suit against Jeff Landry and the state. But they're not doing so. It looks like they're just running for office instead. And I thought that they were going to file a lawsuit alleging violation of home rule powers, unconstitutional special legislation, separation of powers concerns, voting rights violations, equal protection claims, due process claims, impairment of contracts, or unconstitutional interference with elected offices. I thought they were going to file such a lawsuit in federal court. I was waiting for that to happen. I don't know
I
if
was
they're
waiting
going
on you to say this. Let me ask you this, counselor, because you are the legal expert. How long can they delay a process of these terms? In other words, what Trump did to stay in office, or to get into office again, rather, was he delayed. Now, how long, in short, legalese, can the state delay? Because I know
What are they
that the
delaying?
state employee, other people have sued the state
What
What are they
delaying?
delaying?
and not got their legal recourse.
What
are
are they
they
delaying?
delaying?
Well, they can delay it by saying that, well, the law is in effect and this, that, and the other. I don't know what their recourse is. That's
They
what
can
I'm
file a
asking,
lawsuit. Those 3
But
judges.
how long will that take?
Well, to me, they could file a temporary restraining order like the one I filed this morning in federal court. And temporary restraining orders are emergency orders that the court would have to rule on before the November election. The court would rule on it within this month if they filed an emergency request. You know, to me, they're going to have to file, if they want to not have to run for office again and not lose their seats, they're going to have to file that challenge before the November election where they're running again. To me, they would have filed it almost immediately. I just knew that I'd see something like that filed. You know, I think they do have a claim to file in federal court. And I think they should file their claim in federal court. I don't know why
think
they have
that
not,
too much,
to be quite
there's
honest.
too much legalese involved for them to actually get their recourse before this election.
No, it's
And
not.
that's
I mean,
why
look,
they chose that route.
I filed a temporary restraining order this morning. I guarantee you it's going to be heard within the next week or so. It doesn't take
Okay.
long
I want
to
to
get
hear
a
what happens with it, because it seems like what happens is people like Landry, who is a lawyer, correct?
Yeah, he's
and
a
Liz
lawyer.
Murrow,
He used to work for the AG's
and
office.
Liz Murrow, they know how the legal system works, and they're manipulating it right now. They know that these people are all lawyers as well, and they know that if it gets tied up in legalese, they could be delaying, and never see that seat and lose money, because every day that you don't get into office, you have to spend money to pay for people to campaign for you, to pay for advertisements, to pay for any other things that's involved with running an election. They lose money. And that's what's happening here.
If they
J.C.
filed a
Fuller-
TRO, T-Bone, today,
Yeah.
they could probably get a ruling by next week saying that because of this, there will not be elections in November at this time until the court rules on these issues. They would be able to keep their seat because you wouldn't be able to pull them off.
The next question would be, what about the appeal?
They're still on their seat, so why do they care?
Right.
And see, that's the thing. That's how it gets tied up in legal exhaustion. You have appeal after appeal after appeal. That's how this guy got into office, y'all.
What are you
That's how
talking
he
about?
got in.
Who?
Trump got in because his legal team delayed and delayed everything to exhaustion, to the point where it was delayed enough for him to be able to run a campaign. What's to say that's not going to happen here?
So,
And I can
so
tell
you're
you
saying
for a
that
fact,
he ran a delay tactic to become the president of the United States?
absolutely. Look back at it.
Look, politics and
Look back at
litigation often move together. Even when lawsuits are filed, they are frequently part of a broader political battle over local autonomy and representation. You know, right now, many tensions between Baton Rouge and New Orleans involved, these issues regarding who controls the courts, election, policing, local governments, taxation, and political representation. So, yes, in theory, Governor Jeff Landry and or the state can be sued over the actions alleged to violate the home rule authority, but whether such a lawsuit succeeds will depend upon the exact legislation or executive order we challenge, who the judge is it gets appointed to, and how he views the law, the constitutional provisions going, that are at play. But I do think it was worth filing. I do think it was necessary to file historically. I don't know why it has not been filed. If I had been one of those sitting judges removed, I would have filed it. But it looks like they don't want the battle. It looks like they don't want the battle. It looks like they just want to run for re-election against one another. I think they're seeing that's the road of less. It's an easier road, I guess, for them.
It's the
to
road
run
of
for
less
re-election.
turmoil.
Yeah,
Less turmoil and money.
Yeah, I think it's I think they see it as an easier road to just run to be reelected than to fight the good fight. Let's see if whoever ends up not getting a seat ends up filing the lawsuit.
And again, here's the street critic point of view. Maybe there's dirt on everybody that's involved. And the governor and Liz Moreau brought that out, for all we know.
He has the judges in criminal court playing a game of musical chairs.
Oh, yeah.
The seats are being removed, and you got to find a place to sit.
Yep. All
right, T-Bone.
That's the thing. So, all right, Pop, I respected your issue, bro. If you got something to say about it, I'll look forward to it. All right, y'all.
All right, bro.
Stay up.
Yep.
Peace.
Say it.
Hello to you, to Counselor, to my fellow Purple Knight. See, our leaders are cowards. Our leaders are cowards. These political organizations are cowards. Our gatekeepers are cowards. Our seemingly the clergy are cowards with no integrity. This is the good fight. This is good trouble. Our legislative black caucus, I see we got new young leaders from New Orleans. I want to know to the new chairman and the new first chair, were you all at y'all social when this man came in who put all this stuff on us? Why are they not making the choice to fight this? They're lawyers. Can't they go to Loyola somewhere where they got free help? Don't some of these political organizations have money that they got from the new mayor? This doesn't make any sense.
I guess I'm not understanding anymore the viability of the NAACP and the Urban League if we're no longer fighting these battleground fights.
I don't get it. Then maybe all of that leadership it should change.
I mean, I don't understand why the NAACP didn't have a bigger role in Baton Rouge when it came to these bills being enacted into law. I don't see where
NAACP, ACLU,
Urban League, the ACLU, like where are these entities and where's their legal counsel?
Now Mark showed up, but that was when I guess the big fight was already done.
But why aren't we putting up counter bills? Why aren't we hitting them hard too? I mean, we seem to just be reacting, and we don't seem to be taking a proactive stance. We should have had bills that hurt them too. Then we could have negotiated, right? If we had similar legislation that hurt them in their districts, then maybe they would have thought twice about swinging for us.
Or better yet,
if I
go after the ones that did do that.
If I knew that, right? If I was a state legislator sitting here in Orleans Parish, and I saw Jay Morris filing bills that were hitting Orleans Parish, I would have been filing bills that would have hit him in his home too. If you swinging for me, I'm swinging for you. We both gonna be swinging.
And then I came in and said, I want an investigation against.
Can I please say this?
Excuse
me for being rude. Some things I can say that perhaps you all can't say because of the seat you sit in. To the new chairwoman of the Louisiana Black Caucus, Representative Newell, and the vice chair, Representative Murray, you all should be investigating this land deal from Senator Morris, who has changed the dynamics of black leadership here in New Orleans.
And they should be thinking about what bills they can propose in the next legislative session that impact these people in their districts.
Hey, y'all have a good one. Saving New Orleans is on us. Y'all have a good one.
All right, see it. So it ain't what they gonna do, it's what we gonna do about them. Not about the people that's trying to harm us, but the folks that we're saying, why are you up there inviting these folks that are trying to harm us to a party? And why are you inviting the devil to come to your worship service?
Well, let's talk about the fact that a lot of the state legislators gave up, abandoned ship, and ran home to run for local elections.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even want to be there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Willard is now on the city council because he didn't want to be there anymore. Delisha Boyd ran for mayor.
Did she run for mayor?
She ran for something because she didn't want to be there anymore.
City council
because she didn't want to be there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's.
But to me, this is where it all happens. We end up getting the bills that are going to affect everybody in the state, especially here. If they're just doing it like Morris did, that's going to affect one parish. And this is where the fight, to me, begins. Not because you want to be in another position, but that's where, when they're going to introduce it, this is where it's going to begin. And we were in a situation this year where they introduced over 900 bills.
And what did we introduce? I'd like to know.
Don't know.
I don't know, y'all. I just feel like sometimes I feel alone on an island.
Yeah.
Because I take on these issues that are these big battles, these big fights, and I just don't see a whole lot of people doing the same.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand where we've lost our way with these black organizations that have been entrusted to guide us, lead us, protect us, and be proactive.
Yeah.
And I don't know where we've lost our way with these legislators either, and the city council members and mayor.
All right, y'all. We got to take a break. We'll come back. Ronnie, hold on. We got more coming up next.
That's right. It's party time each and every Sunday night at 7 p.m. on WBOK. It's the Throwback Throwdown with DJ Wick as he brings you the best in old school from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the early 2Ks. Plus, the party goes to another level at 9 p.m. with the Throwback Throwdown Party Mix to round out the night. It's the Throwback Throwdown Sunday nights at 7 p.m. on WBOK and on the World Wide Web at WBOK1230.com.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, presented presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
The Ron Kelly Show. Real talk, bold truth. Tune in for your weekly dose of unapologetic conversations that don't dodge the truth or dilute the message. Stay informed on the issues that matter most on The Ron Kelly Show, every Monday at 7 p.m. on WBOK 1230 a.m.
Life has a way of shifting priorities, changing needs, and pivoting plans. Home Bank is there for all of them. Their bankers partner with you for every step along the way, from understanding your needs to celebrating your success. Home Bank is invested in the vibrant spirit of our community and in you. So partner with them. Stop on by any banking center in the greater New Orleans area or visit home24bank.com to get started today. Good for business, good for life. Home Bank, a member of the FDIC.
I'm Wendell Pierce. Thanks for making WBOK your station. WBOK.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Our number 504-582-9422. Ronnie, what's going on?
Hey, Gerard, the counselor. Gerard, we got to get serious, man. We have to become proactive. I think one of the grassroots ways, we won't have to depend on our politicians and people in higher position. I believe this can be done grassroots by forcing all of these Asians and Arab out of our community by coming together collectively and buying these people out. If they don't want to sell, we stop patronizing them, and in about 2 or 3 months, every last one of them will agree to leave our community. We got to get these people out of our communities. That's grassroots. We can hold town hall, see how many people in each community, is down with us. If we get enough, we should be able to raise the money, borrow the money some kind of way, and force every Vietnamese and Arab business out of black community. Have black take over those businesses and run them the same way, provide even more services. Gerard, that's a grassroots way of being proactive.
I understand what you're talking about as far as the what you want to do. The question I would have for you, Ronnie, is who you going to get to do it? Because it looks like the people that we're electing to do it aren't doing it. So even if you implement it, you need somebody to direct it.
Right. We could have as many as 5, let's say, respected people out of each community as the lead people in the LLC. We could do it. Business. Each community becoming a business itself, borrowing the money. How much would it cost to buy any of these people out? It should just be mainly their inventory and a little profit. And if they don't want to sell, Gerard, we stop doing business with them, and then what? They're going to have to close shop anyway.
Well, what we're talking about right now is starting an organization to do crowdfunding. If we pooled our resources together and did some crowdfunding, then we could make an offer to buy some of these businesses out of our communities. I think that's a very good plan. You just need a bunch of people who are interested in doing such a thing. Right now, we're finding that there's an effort to gentrify and remove some long-standing black businesses in New Orleans, such as like the Rock Bottom Lounge. I learned about that over the weekend. They're getting hell from people uptown who are trying to push them out of that community. And Rock Bottom, I understand, has been there for a very long time, not bothering anybody. And the neighbors are trying to push them out right now and buy them out right now. So, we need to support our own businesses,
That's
We need
right.
to we need
got
to fight back, and we do need to do some crowdfunding.
That's what time it is.
But Ronnie,
That's what time.
one of the biggest businesses, if not the biggest business in the city of New Orleans, is the city of New Orleans. And
right.
it disturbs me that we have so many different areas of contracting that's happening in this city that we should be able to look at and say, hey, our unemployment is overwhelming. The number of people that have very low paying wages is overwhelming. And we're a city that's depending on hospitality. But we have contracting that's happening in this city with millions of dollars of your tax dollars. How come we are not?
That's right. So it's systemic.
How come we're not looking around and saying, let's take our own money and say, let's put our money toward hiring our own people to do some of the work instead of just contracting everything out?
Gerard, we're going to always be on that bottom rung until we get control of our black dollars, man. Come on. We're going to always be on the bottom rung.
What you're talking about, what you're raising is a very great point that I think I raised on this radio station 2 years ago. Crowdfunding and cooperative ownership could become one of the most practical economic strategies for preserving black-owned businesses and cultural spaces in New Orleans. You know, we need to start collectively owning and preserving assets before they disappear. When
I highly respect you. I can tell you are about, the fight. I highly respect Gerard. And you all could go around having town hall, people that are respected. I plan on, posing this to my councilman, Freddie King. I believe in this guy. We can't wait 8 years. I want him to run in 2030.
I need him to become more vocal. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not hearing Freddie King use his voice, and I am one of his constituents. I am his neighbor.
I am too.
Okay, I can say this: he was very vocal in fighting off the woman who was trying to put the apartment complex across the street from English Turn. But he had a reason to do that because he lives in English Turn, and the neighbors in English Turn were pushing him up to be the leader of that cause. But other than that, if Freddie King wants to be a real contender to be the mayor of the city of New Orleans and get black support for that, I need to hear him start. I need him to start manning up. I need him to start speaking out at the city council meeting. I need him to start taking positions.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Right, taking positions
that's one of my points.
Right, taking positions that really are meaningful to the city of New Orleans and to black communities in particular. I'm not hearing enough from the young man. He seems like a very nice person.
That's why I like him. I like him.
I love the way he moves with his family.
I
respect all of that.
I do too.
He's a church, God-fearing man. Love all of that about him. But he needs to stop playing it so safe.
That's right.
Because you cannot play safe and lead at the same time.
All right, Ronnie. We got to take these other calls, brother.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you. All right, George.
Man, how y'all doing?
Good. What's happening?
Bruh, Madam Consular, you were talking about crowdfunding to the people in the audience, and I doubt seriously that they understand the effectiveness and the possibilities of what crowdfunding is.
I can explain it further. Like, for example, let's say we form an LLC, and we call it Black Elevation LLC. And we use that LLC and we start selling shares. And each person's share costs them, let's say, 1,000 people invest $500. Or 5,000 people invest $100. Suddenly, that LLC that we have just formed together as a group can now begin acquiring lounges, restaurants, shopping centers, apartment buildings, event spaces, grocery stores, and historic properties. That is how communities can build durable economic power, even at times when there are no grant monies out there that might be available. You know, when you go to the bank, for example, and instead of them looking at one person's credit report who's trying to get a loan for $6 million, they're looking at 500 people's credit report to get to, it makes it a more secure investment for the bank.
You actually end up, George. Here's an example, and I found this out many years ago. That let's say that you're a person that's renting. I'm talking about your personal home, and you're renting. But someday you wake up and you go, I want to own my own home. And you go out and you buy your own home. You now have opened up the door to be able to go and get another home. Look, or go get something else by using your equity instead of your cash.
I talk about this every year in a class I teach at Howard Law School. Young black lawyers are often asking, how did you build a practice like yours? How have you been able to be involved in such big cases and those kinds of questions? And so I explain to them that when I settle a case, the money I get from the case, I don't go blow it on new shoes, new bags, blah, blah, blah. I invested in real estate holdings, and then I can use my real estate holdings to get a line of credit to finance the bigger cases that I want to be in.
Right.
We need to teach our young
people. When you do a class action.
Yeah, when I do a class action, that's how I'm able to do what I do.
Right.
And I try to teach the next generation of black lawyers how you can get your foot into that door by building equity and building real estate holdings that you can then get a line of credit from the bank to finance your law firm. But going back to this crowdfunding concept, you don't have to be a doctor, lawyer, Indian chief to be able to do this. Okay? What we're talking about, if we could get 5,000 people to put up $100, okay? Then we're getting somewhere. Right. And we can start making these major purchases. And that is how, Tulsa became Tulsa.
Yep.
That's how Dryad Street used to be the Black Wall Street of New Orleans. We can go back to doing those kinds of things. But, whenever I try to host some sort of gathering to talk about these things, you find you might have 20, 30 people show up. Mm-hmm. If people were really serious about it, then we would get an auditorium somewhere and really talk about some serious moves with crowdfunding. But it is the way for us to own our own. It is a way for us to truly become independent.
And it also, a wonderful aspect of the crowdfunding reality is it just doesn't limit you to the people within the city of New Orleans. I'm currently in an adventure now where we're doing crowdfunding to raise money to build a multi-unit product. And our crowdfunding is going to be on a national level that, we're expecting anybody who see our vision is able to fund into the resource. And we're also adding a nonprofit as far as jurisdiction over the actual real estate aspect of it. Therefore, when we go to banks, it's not even my credit you're looking at.
All right, George,
that's exactly
hold that thought, George. We got to come back. News is next, y'all. Hold on.
Campus of Xavier University. WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. California Attorney General Rob Bonta is launching a new affordability response team.
I launched California DOJ's affordability response team to double down on our efforts to put more money back into your pockets.
The group will investigate rising costs and target companies accused of driving up prices on housing, groceries, healthcare, and childcare. A second detainee has died at an ICE facility in Louisiana, raising new concerns about conditions inside the center. Officials say 43-year-old Mamuka Artmiladze was found unresponsive, marking the 19th death in ICE custody this year. And Representative Jim Clyburn is one step closer to another term in Congress. The longtime South Carolina Democrat won his party's primary and will face Republican John Peterson in November as he seeks an 18th term in the U.S. House. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
Wait, she made me fall out the chair.
Welcome back.
She made me fall out
Gerard
the chair.
almost fell out his chair for those of you who are watching on Facebook. Let me say this because someone has said on the Facebook feed that not many blacks own property on Dryad Street. Let me set the record straight. Dryad Street was once one of the most important centers of black commerce, professional life, and entrepreneurship in New Orleans. It was often described as a local version of Black Wall Street. For generations, Dryad Street served as a thriving corridor of black economic and cultural life during segregation, when black residents were frequently excluded from white-owned businesses and institutions. Dryad Street was filled with black-owned pharmacies, restaurants, barbershops, beauty salons, insurance companies, law offices, doctors' offices, funeral homes, music venues, and retail stores. It was not merely a shopping district, it was an ecosystem of black self-sufficiency, and families circulated money within that community. People worked there, shopped there, socialized there, and built their generational stability there. Dryad Street also became deeply connected to the civil rights movement in New Orleans. There were sit-ins and protests along that corridor as black residents challenged segregation in downtown commercial spaces. Later, the street was renamed in honor of civil rights leader Aretha Castle Haley, becoming Aretha Castle Haley Boulevard. The history of the corridor also tells a larger story about what happened to many black commercial districts across America. Several forces contributed to its decline, like desegregation changing shopping patterns, suburbanization, highway development, urban renewal, disinvestment, loss of black-owned banking institutions, population shifts, and a lack of access to capital. I put my law firm on Jackson Avenue on the corner of Jackson and Daniel, a block from Dryad Street, because I wanted to reinvest in what used to be Black Wall Street of New Orleans. So we have done it before, and we can do it again. And it is an excellent example of what we can do with crowdfunding.
All right. Let's take George back. But George, you still with us?
And that part right there, Mademoiselle Consuela, is we always hear about these people talking about how can we come back together? How can we invest in black business? If we put a direct interest in a group or from groups of people, we create and recreate the real attitude we need to fund and create black businesses. So this is something that you're talking about that I hear people all the time with that tired trope. If we can only get together. Well, you're telling them, hey, this is the avenue by which we get together. And it ain't all extremely outrageous, sophisticated. It's a very simple process. We can put money together. We can create zones and areas. And when people know we own the business, then people know to do business with the business. That's an intelligent tactic.
You know, one of the insurance companies that was located along Dryad Street around the 1940s was called Keystone Insurance Company. It was located on Dryad Street, and it was one of the leading black-owned insurance companies in the country. And its board included Dr. Andrew Young, the father of Atlanta Mayor and UN Ambassador Andrew Young Jr., okay? Another major black-owned insurance company that was on Dryad Street was Unity Industrial Life Insurance Company, founded by the Dejois family. And there still is that funeral home that's within a block or two of Dryad Street. It still stands there. So, you know, these were very prominent black businesses, and this was the epicenter of black commerce in New Orleans. It can be that again. And I'm kind of seeing a move toward that again. I'm starting to see
More
black
businesses.
people buying businesses on Dryad Street and operating them there. And I'm hoping that, I'm starting to see other businesses too, of other people. But I really hope that we come back to Dryad Street. We come back to Jackson Avenue. We need to reinvest in those neighborhoods where we once had those deep roots.
My cousins have a business on Dryad.
It's important.
Aretha Castle Haley.
It's important, Wick.
Yep.
We need to reclaim that street. That street is history for us.
They own the building. The place that's across the street from the Jazz Market?
Yes.
That's my cousins that own
I
that.
love that. Because if we don't invest there, then we're allowing them to gentrify. We're allowing them to take it back.
There's another business too. I'm not certain. I need to do some.
Majestic Funeral Home. That's the name of it. It's right there, off of Aretha Castle.
And there's a what's the name of the business? Women of Vision.
Women of Vision. I mean, they're coming back.
And then you have their restaurant that's been there for a minute. What's that?
Cafe Reconcile.
Cafe Reconcile. And that cafe, that restaurant is important because they use it for reentry for the young people that may have gone astray, that need some type of investment to get their lives better. I've heard several different people that have come out of that program that are now running restaurants or in some type of management of those restaurants. Now, is it black owned? I doubt it. I know that there are a lot of folks that are working with Cafe Reconcile, black businesses as well, that are working with them. So I think that's important as well. There's a barber shop in there. They got a couple of banks on Aretha Castle Haley, that business that I just brought up too. And I know that there are several different law firms that have now opened up on Aretha Castle Haley. We just come by there every single day.
Absolutely. We made a conscious decision, Emil and I, to purchase on Jackson Avenue, right in the heart of what was Black Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
We bought an old bar, Tammy's Bar, and we tore it down and we put the office there. I think it's important to be in the communities that you want to serve.
And I think Tammy got some ghosts up in there.
Yeah, I know you do.
Hey,
I was going to.
One of the things that I'm like over expired over here because see, we are getting economically challenged. We are getting economically squeezed. We just haven't hit the full impact, but our national unemployment record at 8.9 starts to give us a real signals and indicators of things yet to come. And the more they keep pushing their agenda, part of their agenda is to economically disadvantage us, disenfranchise us. And if we don't start using this crowdfunding, and I'm going to go back to it again, because I want the people that's listening to really get excited and understand that they individually can participate. And not only can they participate, they can get other family members. This thing can actually grow generically, even in the city of New Orleans, to a huge reality because your children are going to need somewhere to train. Your children are going to need somewhere to develop. Your children are going to need incubators to want to create and start and roll their own realities in business. That your children, now you got to think past your children into your grandchildren too. So what we're talking about is how we start to solidify. I know all the times I hear we got to support black business and ain't nobody buy because they don't know where to buy black. Even with all this technological information out here, our black, this is a real shot. And it's the real deal on how not only can individuals and groups come together, but even then, individuals and groups can even group and come together. So don't please take your time one day and dedicate some information on a level that the common people understand they are the fire. They are the ignition. They are what's needed. You ain't got to be no rocket scientist to be a part of this. You put your $100 in and then watch them $100 grow to see things happen. And then that's when people get generally excited. Here's what people always want to know. Well, when I put my money in, how is that going to benefit me? Believe me, all that's going to be structured into the deal.
Yep.
How you profit. How you profit. See, that's one of the things that scare us. Is we talk about. I remember when they had bring up 1945 when it belonged to an association that one Negro took all the money and ran foolish. All of that's weaved into this conversation.
You know, your money's not making no money in your pocket.
And they can take your money and run off with your money too. All of that kind of foolishness is weaved into the thoughts and then ingrammed into the DNA of our people of what stops us from coming together and moving forward. And you've given them a real platform. You will be educating them on not your business can fold, but that don't mean every business folds.
It's hard to have a conversation, George, with people about money when they don't understand money and investments.
But you know, here's the thing, though, y'all. It disappoints me so much when we have these conversations and then people say, oh, the average single mother working at the Dollar Tree can't do what you're saying. No, that's not true.
That's not true.
Okay, it's not true. You know, the average common man, woman working a hard, hands-on 9 to 5 can do it too if they crowd fund with other people doing the same thing. Okay, I see it every day. It's one of the reasons I love the Zulu Social Aid and Pleasure Club. I watch these average people who are electricians, postmen, you know, HVAC people. You know, I watch them save, invest until they live their dream over there at Zulu. Mm-hmm. And I watch them form their businesses, and I help them form their businesses, to be quite honest. I can't tell you how many of them I've helped form an LLC and get all that together. It's just, we can do it. And the limitation is in our own mind that we can't.
That's it. That's where we fall off the cliff, in our own mind. Ah!
That's enough.
That's where we fall off the cliff. And when you getting good, insightful information, I want all you black people down in New Orleans to know, if I ain't listening, the reality check with Gerod G-Man Stevens and this wonderful, incredible, intelligent, fighting warrior princess, Miss Daenerys. I'm gonna say it before I finish that too. And lawyers are now currently under attack in America. There's less black law students going to law school, and that's a part of the frame of reference. If you can't get representation in court, you can't defend yourself. All right, now I'm going to get back on my shtick. And if you ain't listening all day long to WBOK and Wick, my man Wick on the backboard keeping the production straight, I'm going to miss out on some real black facts I need to know. I love y'all. Keep doing what you do.
Goodbye, George.
You know, one of the things I love about what I do for a living is when we have a client and they get a settlement, one of the things I like to sit with them to do is ask them, okay, what are you going to do with that money? Can we form a business? We've helped clients form get their general contractor's license and form their own, general contracting business. We've helped them open lawn care businesses. We just helped a 19-year-old purchase her first double. It's just very important to teach people about money and to show them some examples. And anybody can do it.
History, though, and I want to go through history, not to say that it's bad, because, I mean, you know just as well as I do that there have been several times that we sit back and we say, I know we have those conversations about what you're going to do, how you going to do it, because we got a lot of folks that don't get, especially us, that don't get accepted for jobs. Mm-hmm. And I really feel that you got to stop trying to get a job and create.
And Gerard,
a career.
You and I have this conversation all the time. Mm-hmm. We go to dinner and we talk about these things. You have so many skills and talents that you don't monetize. And we also tend to give away our skills and talents and not
We just had that
and
conversation.
not give them the value they deserve. I think if you sit down and you really brainstorm, get yourself a little notebook and brainstorm, what am I good at? What am I passionate about? My husband just did that, y'all. He loves cigars. He loves learning about them. He loves socializing. He likes hanging out with his friends at Zulu in the cigar alley. So his plan was to develop his own cigar bar. I watched this man write down note after note after note after note about what that dream would look like. And then I watched him research it over and over and over again. How would he do it? How would he put it together? What would it look like? How would he fund it? Develop a business plan, meet with the banker, go get the permits, go get everything he would need. Okay? It starts with figuring out what you're good at and what gives you joy. If you're the best maker of red beans, then you open Jill's Red Bean Shop. Okay? If you're the best praline maker, then it's Karen's Pralines. You got to figure out what your skill is. If you love your grass and you cut grass better than anybody in the world, you get yourself a $2,000 trailer and a $500 lawnmower.
You might want to reverse that.
Whatever it is.
Get you a $500 trailer
and a $2,000 lawnmower, whatever it is. This is what you do. This is what I do when I sit down with my clients. I just had this 18-year-old who got a big settlement. And we sat down with him and he said, well, Ms. Bagneris, I want to be a real estate investor like you. We helped him buy 3 properties. And
then you help Stacy's?
Yeah, Stacy's daughter's 19. She just bought her first property from her settlement. You got to start with, what am I good at? Or what can I learn how to do? Medical couriers. I don't know if y'all pay attention to this. I've been watching this on Instagram a lot.
They're making a killing.
If you got a car and you sign up to be a medical courier, they're making $200 a load. Picking up something from one doctor's office and bringing it to another.
Yep.
Okay? You can start a business with that. My next venture, I'm telling y'all right now, I'm going to give you a heads up where I'm going next. So I got this cigar bar. I got to get people to and from it. I don't want them out drinking and driving. I'm about to buy some Sprinter vans. Transportation company. That's what's coming next for the Bagneris family. Okay? You got to think about it. You got to think through your plan, and then you got to implement it once you develop the plan. So everybody can do it.
Anybody can do a different business. Everybody's good at something.
Everybody's good at something.
Figure that out. All right, let's go to Galloway. Galloway!
Hey, what's going on?
You the man.
Y'all the man. Y'all talking economics and power and politics. You can't beat that on a Wednesday afternoon. That's what's up, man.
Yes, indeed.
I got a question for the new Louisiana Black Caucus. Why are you not introducing yourself not only to the media, but to black radio? Especially WBOK down here in New Orleans. That is a serious question. Because the Democrat Party right now in Louisiana is mute, null, and void. You don't have a strategy. Your leadership is lacking. You're meeting with the enemy. You're making backroom deals. You got Democratic or liberal judges backstabbing each other. You're in shambles right now. So if you can't come front and center, it's good to see y'all on the little website. I called and tried to reach out, but they hang up on me, have me singing Mr. Telephone Man. Something wrong with my line. But I'm just being real with you. Hey, we got to do something.
I'll give y'all a business tip right now for free. You ready for it? There is a washateria, a laundromat that closed down on General de Gaulle. Still has all the infrastructure in it to put a new washateria there. How about 10 of y'all come together, get y'all a line of credit to get some washers and dryers, commercial washers and dryers, and buy that and lease that space and do yourself a laundromat on General de Gaulle.
You talking to me? I got a flamethrowing business.
But I'm just saying, I'm giving y'all a free tip right there. I'll help you invest. I'll invest.
You throwing flamethrowers? Wait a minute, hold up.
I'm just saying, I'll invest. That's how the idea starts off.
No,
you see an opportunity, you put some people together, and then you go for it. We'd have
I sell flamethrowers. You want to buy one? I don't know if they're legal.
I might need a flamethrower the way I'm going. They said people are in the bushes ready to attack me when I leave out of here. I might need a flamethrower.
He done shooting darts at you.
Would you want a 20-foot or a 40-foot?
I might need one of them, man. You joke, but I might need one.
No, you think I'm joking? No, I sell flamethrowers.
Let me tell you, my paralegal needed a flamethrower leaving the office the other day. Some young people was trying to rob her coming out the office.
See, you got that flamethrower, I guarantee you.
I might need a flamethrower. I might need a flamethrower. I got to look into that.
Listen, I believe in two things since I retired. That's physical fitness and marksmanship. That is my primary goal.
Indeed.
Education, teaching, I do that to educate others and have fun.
So one of the things, though, Galloway, but look, I got to bring this up, too, because I think that what's really important in the conversation is exactly what you're talking about and what Suzette is talking about. But there is one thing that is very crucial when you start thinking about putting together a business. Don't put together a business with somebody that's not equally yoked as far as you are concerned, doesn't understand how business really works, and is not looking at the big picture. And that's going to be the hardest job that you probably have ever done in your life, and that is owning your own business. And I think that we got to start looking at how folks are right here in this city. We are at a record low as far as poverty is concerned. How many people have a job? And then are we really looking at owning our own business? Because why are you in business with somebody that don't want to own their own business?
Well, I'll tell you another thing. The city of New Orleans does not make it easy to do business with them.
Nope.
You too many codes.
They really don't. And I had to put this cigar bar in Gretna, in Terrytown, because of the stupid ordinances here in Orleans Parish that do not allow an indoor smoking venue other than for the white people who own the two in the French Quarter. They're grandfathered in somehow. But the poor Villa Vassos can't get that. Okay? So, they make it very difficult to get permits. They make it very difficult to get inspections on time. They just make it difficult to do business. And because of that, people are forming businesses in other parishes. I really would like them to make it easier to open a business and operate a business in Orleans Parish.
But the city council can make that codes and everything to what you're talking about if they wanted to.
If they wanted to.
If they wanted to. Yeah. I don't understand how the two white-owned cigar bars in this city that are in the French Quarter are allowed to do indoor smoking, and the poor Villa Vassos, who have a nice establishment in the East, and can't do it no more.
I can tell you right now, you don't have the complexion for the protection. That's why. That's bottom line. And that goes just about any urban city. And if the blacker you are, and I ain't talking about skin color, I'm talking about heart and soul. And I'm talking about soul power when I say this. They don't want to see you succeed. But y'all think I'm joking about the flamethrower. I have a good flamethrower business. And I told folks I took an idea from a guy off eBay, and he talked to me and he showed me how to get my license. And now I sell flamethrowers. Now,
for real though, Galloway, you joking or you serious?
He's very serious.
I'm dead serious. I sell flamethrowers.
We need to get Emil that for Christmas and Father's Day.
Emil would love a flamethrower. My husband would love a flamethrower. I'm looking it up.
You need to call him afterwards and talk
about he would love that, but I'd be so afraid to give him that.
Look at Emil with his flamethrower.
He would love that,
but that's a Father's Day gift.
Thanks for taking my call, though.
Set himself on fire in the backyard.
All right, Gerard. Thanks for taking my call. I'll let you tomorrow, man. Flame on. Wow.
I need to talk to you about them flamethrowers, bro. Oh, boy. All right, Galloway. We got more coming up in a minute, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Bobby Wagner is a Super Bowl winning linebacker and one of only 3 to record 2,000 tackles or more. But even though he's super talented on the field, he knew when he entered the league that football was just one part of his journey.
Football was going to be a really big avenue for me, and football was going to be something that made me wealthy, but I knew it wasn't the end goal.
Instead, Wagner has put the wealth and access football has given him to use in the world of business. One of his most recent big investments didn't take the longtime Seattle Seahawks player too far from home. He's recently bought himself a stake in the WNBA's Seattle Storm.
I've been connected with Seattle for a long time, and I've watched the Storm. The Storm's been doing their thing for a really, really long time. So not just like from a championship perspective, but when you're in the city, they do a lot of good in the community.
Wagner's part of a growing number of current and former players that are moving into the ownership ranks. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
It's deck days at Lowe's, and the savings are stacked. Right now, pros get 15% off all in-stock composite decking from top brands like Trex, TimberTech, and Decorators. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5-amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt tool. The deck's stacked in your favor with brands pros trust. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
AURN News.
A judge has struck down a Trump administration immigration policy that has been making it significantly harder for immigrants from dozens of countries to enter and remain in the U.S. Now, the ruling affected asylum applications, work permits, green cards, and citizenship, the full pipeline of legal immigration. The judge didn't mince words, saying that the new policy threw countless lives into what he called indeterminate legal limbo and accused U.S. citizenship and immigration services of flatly ignoring the law. Nearly 1 in 10 Black Americans are immigrants. The Trump administration had already paused visa processing for 75 countries, most of them on the African continent, with no timeline for resumption. Somali communities in Minnesota and Maine were targeted by aggressive ICE operations earlier this year. Haitians are still fighting in the Supreme Court to keep their temporary protected status. Today's ruling is a legal win. Advocates are warning it's one ruling in a much larger war. For AURN News, I'm Ebony McMorris.
On Auto Trends with JeffCars.com, here's a snippet of some of what we cover. GPS pioneer Gladys West.
We worked long hours computing trajectory orbits and satellite orbits, trying to get the data and everything correct enough.
Auto analyst Mark Bland.
14 new vehicle deals that happen in this country out of every 100 that women don't have a fingerprint on.
To tune in, check out Auto Trends with JeffCars.com, Saturdays at 4 p.m. on WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about.
Hey, Delta Utilities natural gas customers, your new and improved online customer service experience is here. Visit mydu.com to track your usage, choose convenient payment options, learn how to read your bill, and more. If you prefer to pay in person, our customer payment centers are open and ready to serve you. Delta Utilities at mydu.com. That's mydu.com. Improved customer service with you in mind.
Life has a way of shifting priorities, changing needs, and pivoting plans. Home Bank is there for all of them. Their bankers partner with you for every step along the way, from understanding your needs to celebrating your success. Home Bank is invested in the vibrant spirit of our community and in you. So partner with them. Stop on by any banking center in the greater New Orleans area or visit home24bank.com to get started today. Good for business, good for life. Home Bank, a member of the FDIC.
WBOK is pleased to announce the reboot of Crosstown Conversations with host Gene Nathan. A heightened focus on cultural entertainment events and the creatives who present them. The new time is now Saturday at noon. Tune into the stories of our exploding creative scene with Gene Nathan on Crosstown Conversations.
This is Andronika Morris, host of Put Housing First. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock, where we will discuss how housing affects every aspect of our lives and what's necessary, what's needed to guarantee housing for all. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock as we dig down deep onto the issues that affect all of us.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Our number 504-582-9422. Something that I want to add into this conversation that we really have not been bringing it up as much as I thought we were going to continuously. But one of the things I want everybody to remember that you need to go to LouisianaDeservesBetter.com and take a look at the calendar and the time frame and the people that are now trained to have these signing this recall. And the more that we have other stuff going on, the worse that it gets, because we're talking about that and not talking about going out to these different locations to sign this recall, because it is available and available to you in different locations. I know that on today and probably sometime this weekend, I don't have a clarification yet, but more than likely they're going to have a sign location in Kenner. So we'll let you know. All right. The other thing too, with signing this recall, in certain locations, we're seeing that they have, I think, bothered some other folks that are now showing up to protest you signing this recall. Don't let that deter you.
That tells me they're worried.
Yeah, they're worried.
That just tells me they're worried.
Mm-hmm. So don't let that deter you. All right, Miss Anita, what you say?
Good afternoon.
Hey, how you doing?
All right. How are you, Miss Harris?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. Listen, I was listening at you talking about opening these businesses up. And what I want to know, did Major Riley ever get her business going in the French Quarters? Because I know she's been fighting that for years.
Who's that?
Major Riley.
Did she ever get it? No. No, she did not.
She never got her business going.
No.
That's so sad. That's why I don't patronize anything in that quarter, any Asians, any foreign businesses. I don't patronize them. So I heard you all talking about that yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an incident one Sunday morning after church I was going to. I went into that corner store, and I saw a young boy coming from outside smoking. And I asked him, one of those Arabs, are you going to wash your hands? He said, no, I'm just going to put on some gloves. I'm like, no, you're not to serve me. And then I started making a racket. People started walking out because they want to treat you like they think they could treat you any kind of way. But what they don't know, when they keep going and keep going, those people are going to keep treating them the same way. And I have not been back in that store since.
Yeah, I don't know why we continue to patronize businesses that don't treat us with respect.
Exactly. Well, I know I don't. If I could find a black restaurant, a black nail shop, and unfortunately we don't have too many of those nail shops or hair shops in our communities. But thank God, my daughter does my nails very well, and I'm rocking with my locks, so I don't need none of them.
All right. Thank you, Miss Anita.
Y'all have a blessed day. Thank you.
You too.
So I do think, and I will say this, that having that plan that you're talking about, putting together a plan, if you're going to use, and I'm looking at what George wrote on here about me, And when I said equally yoked, when you're going to do that, I didn't say anything about crowdfunding. So he's using the crowdfunding issue that he brought compared to what I'm talking about if you're opening up your own business. If you don't use crowdfunding, or if you can't get anybody to come, because look, there have been several different conversations that we done had about crowdfunding. One of those conversations about crowdfunding, I can tell you, even Kevin brought up the fact that some of us need to start getting together and start talking about putting our money together to do some type of crowdfunding. And I didn't necessarily say that anybody that wants to open up a business, you need to get with somebody to start crowdfunding. Some people will not feel comfortable doing it, and it is a fact. If it was not a fact, I think a lot of us would have done it by now. The other thing about being an entrepreneur, you really got to know what you're doing.
I'm going to say this. I kind of disagree with you, and it depends upon how you define equally yoked. For example, some people contribute financially. Some people contribute by virtue of the knowledge they bring to the table. Some people contribute by virtue of the time and the effort they put in, the hard work, the sweat equity they put in. All of that is bringing something to the table and can make one equally yoked. I don't think it's necessary to have a successful business venture that everyone financially contribute equally.
But who said that?
No,
me.
when that's why I said it depends on how
No, you said
define equally yoked.
know.
I said I agree. I do not disagree with you completely because it depends upon the definition of equally yoked.
What I didn't define was the business of equally yoked.
Well, how do you define equally yoked?
I say equally yoked is you are contributing to that business. If you're going to bring somebody into the business that you have that brings nothing to the table, equally yoked has to be somebody bringing something to the table.
Okay, well, I think maybe they misunderstood your definition.
No, he said,
because when some people think of equally yoked, they're thinking everybody's contributing the same amount of money.
We're talking different. Okay. I said it has to be equally yoked when you're bringing up a business to do, not crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is not somebody going to be. I can do crowdfunding right now to any business that I want to do and walk away from it. It's as long as I have my deal. But if I'm going to bring up a business and you're going to be in that business, what do you bring to the table? I'm not going to put you in a business just to be putting you in the business. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, but I don't think that's the concept we were ever talking about, somebody just signing up and not contributing at all.
Okay, let me let you read this.
Okay, maybe I missed the comment you're referring to.
There you go. You can read it.
Antithetical. Okay, the comment is that Gerod is antithetical to crowdfunding, suggests that people need to be equally yoked, completely understanding the nature of business. Crowdfunding is a matter of explaining how it works and the legal responsibility of the organization. I think it was just, I don't think that.
I was not using it in that concept.
This is why I asked you to define it. Because I, too, misunderstood what you were saying.
But I defined
when you said equally yoked, to me, I thought you meant that everybody is contributing equally.
And what I basically was saying to you, I'm not talking about crowdfunding. And that's what I think we missed. So I wasn't talking about crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is a whole different concept than you having a business and you're saying, hey, I want you to go in business with me. That part of it has nothing to do with crowdfunding. It can be a part of crowdfunding.
Okay, I think the disconnect is that when you think of crowdfunding, and I guess most people, when they think of crowdfunding, they're investing in a business and not necessarily working in that business from day to day.
But
that's what you're talking about.
But your crowdfunding can be sweat equity if it's defined that way. You understand? You're bringing something to the table. But do I, as the person that may be the principal or not, understand, hey, this is what you're going to be doing within this business. If you can't do anything else, your crowdfunding will be a part of it.
Like, I'll give you an example. Let's say tomorrow I want to open a bowling alley. Don't know anything about a bowling alley. If I found somebody who was successfully running a bowling alley somewhere
And had the knowledge.
Then I might cut them in for a percentage of the business for their knowledge in helping me to figure out what equipment I need, what permits I need, all those things. So, I think
that's a value that you're going to bring.
That's a value you're bringing to the table.
So what he's talking about is money.
Well, I think when we started off talking about crowdfunding,
it was about money.
We were talking about the concept of pooling financial resources in order to purchase or create businesses.
Yes.
So, for example, you want to buy a trampoline, but it costs too much for one person to buy a loan. So instead, we get 10 people to give $5. One other friend gives $10. One may give $20, and together we pool that together. We buy a trampoline.
Okay, but if you give $5 and I'm giving $10, we're not equally yoked.
We're going to be business partners, but our shares in the business are going to be different
for the $10,
depending
compared
upon
to the $5.
Yes, depending upon the contribution.
That's what I'm talking about. You understand what I'm talking about?
Well, yeah, but I think the terminology of equally yoked is where people got confused. I think you're talking about now equal shareholders. Let's say,
potato.
Well,
come
no,
on.
it's that's where we are. That's where the confusion is coming in. I mean, if a shareholder, let's say for your sweat equity, we've given a value of 10% business ownership for your sweat equity. Another person gets 20% ownership for their knowledge base. Another person gets 60% because they're funding it. I mean, it depends upon that. That's shares. That's a different thing.
Okay. I'm gonna leave it alone because we say the same thing, but I just use terminology of equally yoked, and it has now become a big issue. And what I was trying to tell you is that's my analogy by saying we're not equally yoked. Because I got more shares than you, that makes me a little bit better. Not a little bit better, but that does make me a higher percentage holder that does not make us equally yoked.
But you can go into business and not be equally yoked.
Okay. I'm just talking about one issue. That's all. I ain't talking about going in business together. I'm talking about who owns the highest percentage. And just because I say, okay, well, you know what? Crowd sharing is one issue. Okay, we can say everybody give $100, but how about those folks that give $200-300?
They get a greater share of return.
Yes.
Their return is based upon their investment,
and their return is not equally yoked as yours or mine.
I guess it's just a strange word.
That's why I'm just saying, yours is shares. Mine is using the terminology equally yoked. That's all.
Yeah, I don't think
we saying the same
equally
thing.
Yoked is a business term, but okay.
Okay. More coming up, y'all. Everybody who take.
It's off the top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
Let's talk about the explosive controversy erupting at CBS News. Specifically, the turmoil erupting at 60 Minutes, considered the golden standard of journalistic integrity. The iconic news magazine has been on the air for 57 years. The trouble started when media mogul David Ellison, an ally of President Donald Trump, gained control of CBS. Ellison brought in Barry Weiss, who has no broadcast news experience, as chief news editor. Weiss immediately troubled the network waters, creating friction among the staff, firing or failing to renew the contracts of several veteran correspondents. Weiss turned the boat completely over when she hired another non-broadcast news person to head the 60 Minutes news magazine. Now, that would be tantamount to putting me, a broadcast journalist with no experience in print, in charge of editorial content at the newspaper. Well, that silly move was the last straw for veteran newsman Scott Pelley. He blasted Weiss, accusing her of trying to kill the program. Pelley was immediately fired for his blunt observation, creating even more tension at the network. And Weiss was already taking heat for allegedly attempting to slant the news to appease the Trump administration. By now, you're probably wondering, Why in the hell should this be of interest to you? As I see it, what's occurring at CBS News is a microcosm of what's taking place in media overall. Ask yourself this question: who controls your information? The media has consolidated into only a handful of voracious, profit-driven owners, primarily with a bottom-line interest. This is exactly what legendary CBS News President Fred Friendly warned us about way back in the late 60s. The narrowing of news ownership would potentially lead to corporate news prioritizing profit over public service, dangerously leading to the reduction of independent journalistic voices. So here we are today, where media in the United States are now controlled by just 6 major companies. These conglomerates own information distribution platforms that run the gamut from broadcast, print, to social media networks. Compare that to 1983, where media in the U.S. were controlled by 50 companies. It was Thomas Jefferson who considered a free press to be a vital pillar of democracy. At this point in our history, sadly, it appears that the press and democracy are both in jeopardy. This is Norman Robinson, Off the Top.
Hey family, Ryan Richardson here from Conversations with Ryan Richardson. Join me this Saturday live 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com as I welcome community organization, the HIV Prevention Mobsters. They'll be joining me to discuss the recent cuts to many HIV programs here in Louisiana that help patients get medical services and many other benefits when it comes to their overall health. This will be a very informative interview. Please tune in, and thanks for your continued love and support. And remember, healing and recovery start with you.
This is The Law in Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton.
If you had $1 million, would you leave it to an 18-year-old?
Hopefully not, but that's exactly what can happen with a simple will. The money goes straight to your kids when they hit the legal age, no guardrails.
A trust lets you control when and how they receive their inheritance. You can set ages, milestones, or even make sure they finish school first.
Give them security, not a spending spree.
This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
Greetings and salutations. I am Elwood B. Coulon Smith, chairman of the board of the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. We'd like to invite you to tune in every Wednesday at 12 noon on WBOK to listen in on Black to Business and be a part of the movement that's going on. Thank you.
New Orleans, the city of festivals and second chances. This is Mr. Rocky of Faithers in Jesus the Christ, inviting everyone to come to the table of grace. No matter where you are or what you're dealing with, guilt, bad habits, mistakes, or heavy hearts, Jesus still calls us his friend, and his grace is waiting for us. Tune in to WBOK 1230 AM or watch live on Facebook or Instagram. We'll reflect on his work on the cross, his resurrection, his ascension, and the hope of his return for we who that believe and have received him by faith. So join us at the table of grace, where mercy is fresh, forgiveness is real, and grace is served for people like you and me.
Looking for a great deal on your next phone? Come see us at your locally owned AT&T store for the latest Samsung and iPhones. Visit us at 3616 South Carrollton Avenue. We have great offers on watches, tablets, accessories, and internet service. Whatever your connectivity needs are, our team is here to help you keep connected. Visit us today at AT&T, 3616 South Carrollton Avenue. Locally owned and proudly giving back to the community.
From the East Bank to the West Bank, WBOK is what New Orleans is talking about. WBOK.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks. Welcome back. Welcome back. Our number 504-582-9422. Something you got to do. You got to do this. You got to bring up the fact that they're tonight at the cigar bar. They're going to have the game.
They're going to have the game. Probably standing room only. I don't know. It's been packed. I got to tell you, we opened officially Monday, and the crowd has been great that has been coming out to experience it, and the reviews have been amazing. But tonight they will be watching the NFL NBA Finals at the Untouchable Cigar Bar, 2020 Bell Chase Highway in Terrytown. Come on out and experience an untouchable atmosphere.
So, how many folks are we talking about? Can he hold?
Maybe about 60 downstairs, and maybe,
There's going to be upstairs as well
right.
that is working on. But
maybe 60 or so, comfortably.
And what time open?
10 to 10, 10 a.m. to 10 people.
So you've been open all day today.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's tonight. They're going to have anything going on? No.
Tons of my husband has televisions from wall to wall to wall in there to watch the game. It's really an experience. The guys are really enjoying it. And the ladies. They had a lot of ladies there this week.
I've seen that a lot of ladies like to smoke cigars.
Mm-hmm. There were a lot of ladies in there this week.
And the alcohol is good.
And coming soon is going to be a boardroom upstairs where you can have a meeting. So that's going to be nice.
You say coming soon.
Coming soon. Within the next 2
I
months.
know Emil said today, that they're working on trying to get everything together within the next 6 months?
Yep.
So hopefully, folks will go out tonight. What's the address?
2020 Bell Chase Highway in Terrytown.
And very nice. A lot of people already knowing about it. People signing up to become members too, correct?
Yes.
I'm asking all the questions about your stuff.
But it's really been a joy to watch this dream become a reality. And to see, the joy on Emil and Ken Ozine's face, his business partner's face, because they really did take this from just a conversation held between two friends at Zulu, in the alley smoking cigars, to a reality. And it's really nice to see it.
Well, folks have been asking, though. They've been asking and even stopping by there to figure out when they're going to open up. So right now they're doing their soft opening.
Yeah, soft openings. Yeah, we're gonna have a big grand opening. I will definitely talk about it on the radio when we get to that. We called it the Untouchable Cigar Lounge because Emil was the untouchable big shot in 2025, and so that name has kind of carried over.
There we go. All right. Other thing too, celebrating the birthday today. I told him I said I'd say something about your birthday, Mr. Cutno. Kenny Cutno.
Happy birthday!
Celebrating his birthday today.
Happy birthday, Mr. Cutno.
And of course, Leslie celebrated her birthday on yesterday. Leslie did you see it on Facebook? You saw it on Facebook? Yeah.
Yippee-ki-yay!
See, that's how you get in trouble right there. But that's going to about wrap things up for us today. I don't think we had anything, but I need everybody to be here on tomorrow. We have not heard from him. He has not said a whole bunch, but he will be with us on tomorrow, and that is John Fuller, attorney,
I'm
Judge
looking
John Fuller.
forward to hearing what Judge Fuller has to say. This is an outstanding young man, and I look forward to hearing him.
And now that a lot of this stuff is coming out about Rhonda Good Douglas, Judge Rhonda Good Douglas, and also the governor, I think that Judge Leon Roche, needs to speak up, and he said that he would. So he's going to be with us on Friday.
I can't wait to hear that conversation.
Because he is saying that there's a mistruth there, and I want to make sure that we guide it out and hear it from the horse's mouth. So he's going to come in the studio and have some conversation with us on Friday, that is, to get what he is saying is the truth. And we heard from Judge Rhonda Douglas, and she announced, yesterday or today, that she's going to run against him.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. We shall see. Other than that, anything else?
Nothing else. Look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow.
All right, y'all. That's going to wrap it up for us. We appreciate everybody for being a part of the conversation. We'll see you on tomorrow.